Hello there, Wasteland. This is Conrad Getz for Double Double Radio, broadcasting from my cozy little station on this wonderfully warm afternoon. The temperature is set to hit 30 C today, so make sure you're bringing whatever hydration you can, and try to avoid the sun for prolonged periods. Hopefully this heat wave will break sometime soon, since I know a lot of the farms on the outskirts of Ronto are dealing with slightly more dried out crops. And that's just bringing all sorts of roaches and scab pandas and other critters. Luckily, that has also meant that for the time being, it's just a bit too hot for any conflicts between our resident military forces. What with the Brotherhood choosing to shut the dome and try and keep cool, and the CPF doing everything they can to filter whatever water they can. Both groups are allowing limited access to such things in exchange for high-value barter. As an additional bit of aid with the heat wave, Vault 416 has opened up a limited amount of space in the vault with small rooms, some supplies, and other things to help out for anyone really needing it. Space is limited, and I'm not sure yet if it will be permanent or if it's simply just something to tide everyone over while we wait for some rain. So, if you need it, head to Vault 416 ASAP and see about getting some reprieve. They'll also have work that will pay in more supplies and caps, so there's some extra incentives there for anyone else unsure of the situation. Speaking of my old vault, some more dwellers from there have been venturing in Toronto proper, with supplies and assistance being offered around Eaton Central and some of the smaller camps and settlements around town. I'm glad they're getting more comfortable with venturing out, and I look forward to the vault integrating a bit more with the region. Kind of fulfilling the original intention of the vaults, which makes me kind of proud to wear my Pip-Boy and vault colors still, even if they've both heavily been modified over the years. I know some of them have managed to also get as far as the falls over the past couple weeks, which is great news, but I will put a word of warning out to those dwellers, so if you're listening, please be aware that the games you'd be playing at the casinos aren't played with vault rules. Do-overs aren't usually allowed, and the stakes can get pretty high depending on where you end up. I would stick to maybe checking out the other things the Falls has to offer while you're there, just to be on the safe side until you're a little more used to wasteland living. I guess that last bit can go out to all the other dwellers that have been venturing out, whether it's from Vault 416 or other shelters. Life underground is distinctly different from wandering the irradiated waste, so be extra careful. There's a lot more than a lot of us expected when we were living in whatever degree of comfort our shelters were. There's all sorts of other threats and dangers, and if you're not careful, you can really end up roped into some messed up situations. I mean, I know I had my fair share of tricky times in those first few years wandering. Like this one time. Not long after Hunter had started traveling with me, we were checking out this super-duper mart just outside of the Pickering Badlands, and
Save it for the holotape stories, Rad. No one wants to hear a half-assed recollection of that story.
I guess you're right. That might be for a better Vaulty and Ghoulie story. Sorry about that, Wasteland. You'll have to wait to hear that tale. But I stand by my point earlier to all the vault dwellers venturing out into the wasteland. Be safe and keep your wits about you. There's a lot of weird stuff out there that can be fun and or dangerous, so being in the know will help you differentiate between those. The other big news of the day is that the traveling fringe performers have come back around to town. After a harrowing venture through the Hammer out west, they've brought a bunch of really fascinating performers with them, and have set up in the old theater district, down just on the edge of the Brotherhood of Steel's camps. Which, don't worry, I've been assured they're just as excited to see some of the shows, so they'll not interfere with any of the performances. They pulled in earlier this week and have already had a few shows, including a new performance of Beep Beep and the Badman, who I'm absolutely going to get to go see this year. I even got a holotape review from Miss Esther Cutwater and Hunter, which I'll play for you all shortly. I am also moderately jealous they got to see the first of their performances, but, I mean, I get it. They both apparently remember seeing these kinds of shows from before being ghoulified. At any rate, the Fringers will be sticking around until mid-next week, at which point they'll be packing things up to continue the circuit, with Old Montreal being their next stop. If any of the traveling caravans or wandering wastelanders want to join up for that journey, I'm sure you'll have a fun time traveling alongside them. I honestly kind of have wondered what it might be like to travel with a caravan of performers and creative folks like that. Like, I know they end up going through some rough patches around the wasteland, but to have a tightly knit little community of artists that just want to bring hope to the world, it sounds pretty nice. I can only imagine some of the things they might have seen or encountered. But at the same time, I like the community we're building here, so it probably just depends on your own personal perspective, right? There's probably some Fringers that even think that I've got some fantastical great life in comparison. But I guess in the end, we're all just trying to make the wasteland a better place in whatever ways we can, I suppose. Well, that's it for me now, Ronto. I better sign off and tend to some stuff around the station. I'll leave you all with this review and discussion that Hunter recorded with Esther after seeing Beep Beep and the Bad Man earlier this week. This has been Conrad Getz for Double Double Radio, signing off.
Alright, this thing looks like it's recording. Hard to tell. It's one of Conrad's weird little toys.
Well, okay. Well, isn't he coming to see later in the week, though? Like, why are we doing a review of the show?
Well, he wants to be all official, like the old world radio hosts, and he figures this is a good way to bring that sort of thing back.
If you say so. I always found those on-the-scene reports to be horrendous, but kids want to hear a couple of us ghouls chatter away, then who am I to say no?
I mean, I do it all the time. Anyways, we just left the Beep Beep and the Bad Man performance as part of the 22-26 Fringe performances. What did you think of the show?
Oh, I loved it. When I was younger, and I mean before the bombs younger, I used to love going to see shows like this with, well, my father and my cousins, and of course those were other performers in different places, but they're still the same general idea. We used to love spending an afternoon laughing, eating popcorn, sipping on a Nuka-Cola float, and even when I got older, I'd treat myself to a show every now and then, especially when Beep Beep and the Bad Man would come to town. Of course, they were different folks back then, but they were just as funny as they were tonight.
Well, I might surprise you with this one, Esther. I hung out with Beep Beep and the Bad Man whenever they came through Old Schwa. Back before, and I can tell you right now, they are the exact same two clowns we both saw back then.
No.
Yes.
No.
Those ghouls didn't just find costumes and start reading up. They are the one and only duo.
You are pulling my leg. There's no way.
No way. They're the real deal. I saw them a few years back, and they told me about how they were both holed up in a bunker, still in their get-ups when the bombs dropped. They've been performing for some birthday gig when the alarm sounded, and luckily the family paying them let them hide with them. Apparently the makeup and material of their costumes helped them not go feral when the radiation was soaking in and ghoulifying everyone.
Well, that's a miracle in disguise. You know what? I bet it was some of that lead face paint.
Exactly. That and some sort of metallic thread that they had to give the costumes a shine. I guess it helped too.
Some folks have all the luck, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, good for us, since we still get to see him put on a wild show, even after all this time.
I'll say. What was your favorite part of the show? And I ask that with you now knowing that extra bit of info.
Hard to pick just one. I know some of those bits were a bit new, what with them being ghouls and wasteland survivors and new material and all that. And don't get me wrong, the part with Beep Beep's nose is funny, but I'll always love their classics. Beep Beep giving Bad Man the fake gun so many times will never not make me laugh. And now they actually get to fire the real one, which is a lot more exciting than just the noise-making ones from back in the day.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. Now, last two things on this list Rad wants me to ask. Do you recommend anything in particular to anyone coming to see the show? And what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 stars?
Well, if I could be so bold as to answer those backwards,
Go
I would have ranked them 5 stars easy. They've still got it after all this time. As for what I would recommend, I suggest any smooth skins bring some Rat-Away or Rat-X, since there's a lot of ghouls taken in a show like this, and some of those sketches use some highly radioactive props. Even I was feeling a tingle of it here and there. Other than that, of course, just be ready to have fun and bring some extra caps to tip your performers and the bartender.
Well, that about does it, Esther. Thanks for the help. I'm sure Conrad will love hearing this, if nothing else.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, but I never said that if anyone asks.
Double Double Radio, A Fallout Story, is a Voice in the Static production, written, starring, and produced by Edward Grimgrinner Hutchinson. You can find Double Double Radio on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media sites, and there's a merch store through Etsy. Links are in the episode description. Double Double Radio is also made possible with the love and support of listeners and Wastelanders like you. If you want to help support the show on Patreon, that link will also be in the description alongside the list of monthly supporters. Thanks for listening.